Welcome to Local Matters, the official Laverne podcast. I'm Ann Smith, Public Information Officer for the City of Laverne. Today I have with me Finance Director Danielle Brown and Interim Finance Director Phillis Rogers, who's been helping train Danielle since she's come on board. And we're ready to discuss our new fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. The new fiscal year starts in July, and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen officially approved the new budget as of the June 4th board meeting. So thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So let's go over all the different funds. Can you talk about what kind of funds our city has and what those are used for those who don't know?
We have several different funds in the city, starting with the general fund, which is our biggest fund. It covers your police, your fire, your public services, covers a whole host of your overall general city operations. And then we have State Street Aid, which covers a lot of our road projects or paving projects and our clearing of roads in bad weather. We have stormwater, which takes care of all of our runoff storm water, and our other largest fund is the water sewer fund, which of course consists of our water treatment plant and our water maintenance and our sewer maintenance that keeps our water in good quality. And then of course the sewer part, we transport the sewer to Metro for processing there.
So starting with our capital projects, what are some of those bigger projects that we'll expect to see this fiscal year?
We are wrapping up the brand new fire hall on Old National Highway. We expect that to open here in the next couple of months. We're also working on a new public works building right past the roundabout on it's off of Stones River Road. That will house all of our public works area, our water and sewer codes, water billing. It's a new building. That will not be completed to probably early spring of 25.
General fund is where most of our expenses come out of. So how big is that budget going to be for the new fiscal year?
The budget is $50 million.
Okay. And how many employees do you think that we'll be adding for this fiscal year?
We are adding 13 in the general fund and 2 in the water sewer fund.
And I know there's a few other positions that are being transferred from part-time to full-time or, from one department to another. So I know that we have a few others in the works too. And our employees get paid out of the general fund, correct?
Correct.
So what kind of increases did the board approve this year for our employees?
A 6% increase.
There's also several big projects in the works for city buildings that are going to start this year. Can you go over some of those?
Yes, we're looking at doing a little bit of remodeling the city hall. This next fiscal year, we're going to be working with some architectural firms to look at making some improvements. We'll have a shift of some of the departments moving to the new public works building, so it's going to give us an opportunity to make things a little better here at City Hall for the public to come in and do transactions. We also have looking at Fire Station 43 remodel, and we're also looking at expanding the police department headquarters. Probably won't get into the construction phase of that this next year, but a lot of the architectural part will be hopefully worked on.
Our Streets Capital Project Fund budget, that's got a lot going on in it. So what kind of projects are we seeing there?
Well, we have the Blair Road West extension to Carruthers Road going on. We have the South Waldron Road widening, and we also have the advanced traffic management system for Waldron Road and Murfreesboro Road.
And I know our Parks Capital Project budget has some exciting projects. Talk to me about those.
Yes, we are looking at rehabbing the Veterans Memorial Park walking trail. We're looking at making improvements at Mankin Park, and we're looking at some more improvements to Brookside Park. And then we're also going to start looking at the extension of the Greenway.
And that would go from the roundabout all the way to the boat ramp on Hurricane Creek boat ramp.
Correct.
Water and sewer fund are our next big account. What kind of expenses will that account be used for?
Well, of course, we have the water treatment plant that we utilize a contractor to operate that plant for us and keep our water quality the best that we possibly can and keep it within the standards and guidelines that's regulated to us. We have the water maintenance department that looks manages all the water leaks and changes out meters. We have the sewer maintenance, which takes care of all the sewer infrastructure. And then we also have the water billing department that takes care of all the billing for the utilities.
And while we're talking about water and sewer, I think the biggest item from our budget this year that's going to get talked about a lot is the new water and sewer rates. So our residents and businesses will see an increase this year, correct?
Correct.
Can you talk about what those numbers look like?
For the residents, you'll see an increase of your water usage going from 1421 to 1918 for the first 2,000 gallons. That'll be a flat rate. If you use 2,000 gallons, it'll be 1918. If you use less than 2,000 gallons, it'll be 1918. And then there's a small incremental increase if you go over the 2,000 gallon. We have looked at this rate increase for over a year now. Last year when we did budgets, the money was very, very tight, and we were instructed by the comptroller's office to start looking at a rate study because we have a lot of infrastructure demands to keep up with water sewer lines and projects and pump stations that need attention and need to be reworked. So we also have, over past few years, have experienced a lot of increases in pricing of goods that we purchase for those departments. Example is our water meters have gone up from $195.75 a meter for a residential meter to $267.50 for a residential meter. And we have a meter swap out program where we swap out about 1,000 meters a year so that we're constantly having good meters in the ground and not letting meters age out and start having problems. Overall, we've seen increases in insurance, whether that be property and personal, and health. Health insurance has been a big increase. We've just seen a lot of increases overall in the water sewer fund, and the revenue that we have been retaining is not sufficient enough to cover the water sewer fund at this time.
Well, inflation has really hit, the country hard. So it's not a surprise to me that we're having to see some of these increases. And I know for residents, just to put it in perspective, that's only a $5.42 raise per month, depending on how much water you use. Those first 2,000 gallons
Right.
will only be $5.50. So it's not going to make or break the bank.
Correct. When we looked at it, I think on a 5,000 gallon bill, we calculated what the total cost increase is, and I'm thinking it's somewhere around about a $10 increase. There's a little bit of a sewer increase, and then of course, since you're using over the 2,000 minimum, there's a little bit of an increase there. So I think overall, for a family that uses the average of 5,000 gallons, I think we looked at about a $10 increase overall. And we haven't had a rate increase, if my memory serves me right, since about 2015 or 2016. We had a couple of decreases in 17 and 18, but it's been almost 10 years since we've had an increase.
We haven't seen an increase in Laverne since 2016, you're right, and then it was actually lowered in 2017 and 2018. So it's been quite a while since the residents have actually seen an increase.
Right.
While we're at it, the fiscal year budget also sets the tax rate for residents for the property taxes. So are we going to see a property tax increase this year?
No, the property tax rate will stay the same.
And what is that?
0.5363 per $100 of assessed value.
Is there anything else that I missed about the budget that we think is really important for our residents to know? It's a big deal to put a budget in place every year.
And like Danielle said, we have held the property tax rate the same this year. I'd say the Laverne residents are very fortunate to be able to retain the same rate, because if you will look around, most other cities have raised their rates. We haven't raised our rate in the past it's been several years also since we've raised the rate. So, don't know how much longer we'll be able to sustain that, but for this year, we're going to leave the rate the same. Overall, the cost of goods, everything we're purchasing is gone up. Therefore, we're seeing that our revenues are shrinking each year, and it's been tough times.
Well, and one thing, since you said that, one thing I want to talk about too is sales tax. I know that we did okay during COVID, where we weren't completely depleted of those sales tax dollars because we're a mainly industrial city. With the welcoming of BJ's into the city limits, I know we've seen a huge sales tax bump just from them alone.
Yeah. Yes, BJ's has helped a lot. We also have some businesses in the industrial area that are bringing in a lot of sales tax. Some of the warehousing that are, we have some sales, out-of-state sales from some of the warehousing that's creating some good revenue. And we've been very lucky that we've been able to sustain a very good sales tax base. Even with the economy the way it is and with COVID happening, we were very fortunate that we were able to keep our sales tax consistently increasing year over year. We're gaining probably anywhere from $1 million to $2 million in additional sales tax revenue for the last 2 or 3 years in a row.
And that's over what was budgeted for.
Correct.
Well, I want to thank you both so much for joining me today. We've been talking about the new budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year with Finance Director Danielle Brown and Interim Finance Director Phillis Rogers. For more information on the City of La Vergne visit lavergnetn.gov. Until next time, I'm Ann Smith. Thanks for joining us.